All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's party! Shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch this, even though you missed the live party, guys. That is the best part. So make sure you are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe, ring the bell. You know I would do it for you. And you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. Let's also say thank you to my6shirt.com, the only place to get your very own The Indian Jesus official merch. Only at my6shirt.com. All right, guys. So this is a very, very interesting day. It's a very interesting day for me. 10 years ago, I lost my best friend. And not just my best friend, but someone who I genuinely considered a brother. You guys have probably heard me say the quote, family is thicker than blood, over and over and over. You know, I got tattooed right here. Family is thicker than blood. And then AMK, which would be his initials, Adam Kondioti. So today what we are doing is a special memorial to him. So I sent out the on the wire, all the people that used to be part of this group that really was held together by him. I sent out the link. I dropped it in the chat here. I'm hoping we're going to get a number of people to just come up and talk about, you know, what's been going on in their lives since his passing. What was it like while he was here? What is it like to get over something like that? It's I know this isn't, you know, normally what we do. So I get it. If this is not for you, you know, we're not talking about politics. We're not talking about religion. We're not talking about culture, although I'm sure all of that stuff will come up. It's just a different kind of show. So I totally understand if this one is not for you. No shame. I will see you in the next one. Shout out to Zippy. Welcome to the party. So, you know, I'm trying to determine if I should start with the end or start with the beginning. Let's go back. Let's go back and start at the beginning. So I met Adam when we grew up together. So we were living in the we went to the same elementary school. Did we go to the same? Yeah. So, and it's funny because he was a short guy like me. He was a little bit taller. I think he was like 5'5", 5'6", somewhere around there. Maybe 5'7", but I don't think so. But either way, he was a short guy with me. And I remember that he was friends with a guy that was also my friend. And so me and Adam weren't really, obviously, if you didn't put that together, yes, we call him Akon because his name is Adam Kondioti and Akon, and he had that way before the singer, way back then. He was already Akon, and so yeah, we had this. I wasn't really super tight with him, but we had a lot of mutual friends. And so, I mean, at that age, you're not really like hanging out and stuff. You're doing more like play dates. Talking about like elementary school. And you know, I knew who he was. He knew who I was. But for some reason, we just kind of ran in different circles. And then, you know, fast forward to high school. Then he was he was an athlete. He actually went to became a D1 diver. But we'll get there. And so again, just different circles. I was, you know, this hardcore metal kid. I was into straight edge and going to shows and doing all that kind of stuff. And he was, you know, more into athletics and doing his thing. So then, you know, I talk to you guys all the time about how I think the most shameful thing I've ever done, and you can put it in the chat. You guys already know the most shameful thing that I have ever done was allow myself to be brainwashed into casting a vote for Hillary Clinton. That's the most shameful thing that I've done. I don't have shame for this next thing I'm going to tell you, but certainly was the biggest mistake, I think, perhaps in both of our lives, but certainly the biggest mistake in my life. So we're nearing the end of high school, And now I know, again, not super tight with Akon, but I know who he is. We partied together, all that kind of stuff. And we realized we're going to the same college. Shout out to the Rider Bronx. Hey, shout out to M169. Welcome to the party. Said RIP to your friend. Hope you have a great stream. Thank you so much. I hope you have a good work shift. So yeah, he and I are both going to Rider University. So you would think, hey, we're leaving our little pond of where we started in our hometown. We're going out there. Why don't we room up together? And I didn't want to because I had this silly idea that, well, if we're going to college, then we should meet new people. And then we kind of, we started to, thank you, Zippy. We started college, and again, we were kind of in different circles. And I would see him, pass it. It was a small college, so I saw him all the time. And we would, pass each other. We'd see each other at parties here and there. But again, we weren't really tight like that. Hey, shout out to Unwanted Foe. Welcome to the party. Thank you so much. So let's kick this party off right. Morty gets that treat. That's right. Every single super chat or donation comes with a treat for my co-host Morty and my only best friend left now. So thank you, sir, and welcome to the party. So yeah, I mean, we're at college, and I'm doing my thing, and he's doing his thing, and we, first entire year. Again, I just see him here and there, but we wouldn't really hang out together unless we happened to see each other at a party. And then we found I forget exactly how it happened, but there was a mutual friend that we had at college. So full circle. I met him through a mutual friend at our elementary school, and then we get all the way up to college, and a mutual friend puts us kind of back to where we belong. And then we started partying and hanging out a lot together. And I realized how much I had in common with this guy, how much it really was. He really was a brother. And a lot of you guys know that I didn't have the best relationship with my family. I don't have the best relationship with my family. The things have gotten better as I've gotten older, and I've had to, do different things. But certainly back in the day, I just didn't have any kind of relationship with my family like that. And so this is where the idea of family is thicker than blood comes from. The idea that, yes, blood is thicker than water, but family is even thicker than that. And that is something that I was living by before he even passed away, when we were in college. A lot of you guys have heard some of the music, the EP that I recorded, my rock band. One of the songs about, missing school and all that stuff is because the people that I went to college with did become my family. They knew me better than anyone in my family. I knew and cared about them more than anyone in my family. And as rough as that is to say, we got to be real. There is not anybody who would really be a part of my life that way. Shout out to Daniel Cabrera and Nick. Welcome to the party, guys. Welcome. And when you realize that there is, you spend your childhood thinking that, oh, maybe I'm just a bad person because all I know is my family and things aren't going right. And I had far from the worst household to be brought up in, far from it. But we all have our ish, and I was, let's say, wholly unfulfilled. And then I go off to college and I meet these people and those people and those people, and we're connecting and we're actually, becoming a family. And so, but still, like I said, me and Akon, kind of, we're just, passing each other whenever we would see, and hanging out at parties and stuff like that. But I believe it was sophomore year. So second semester of our sophomore year. he is on, like I said, the diving team. So shout out to the Ryder Bronx D1. He was a D1 diver, and he got in a little bit of trouble. We have to get in, whatever. I mean, I apologize to anybody who doesn't know what is good, but Adam's parents, if you are out there watching, I miss you very much, and I hope you guys are doing well. But I'm not going to pull punches, and this is what it is. It's been 10 years, so hopefully, nothing is going to come up as too much of a shock. But plus you already know this, and so he got popped for coke. They drug tested him, and he had coke and weed in his system, and so we got kicked off of the diving team. So now he has a lot more time. And right around this, or right before this, I had moved into the same building that he was, the same dorm. So before we were in different dorms. Now we're coming up on we're in sophomore year, first semester. Now we're in the same building. So or actually, I take that back. We were not in the same building, but his best friend from the swimming team was right down the hall from me. So he was right in my hallway all the time. And that shout out to BDDFL, I'll point out. And he was the one who actually kind of connected us back and allowed the opportunity for Akon and I to build the relationship that we had. So, all through the rest of college, we are tight as can be. We are brothers. And graduate, and we go back home, same thing. We are just every single night hanging out, and this is, in our party days. So we're definitely getting into this and that. But a lot of times also just hanging out, just watching movies, just being, just sitting around and smoking a blunt and just chatting. We're doing that. That was a normal thing. I remember when I was working at a restaurant. It was I don't remember. Well, it doesn't matter. But when I would finish my shift, at the restaurant, you'd walk out the front door to get to usually they have like a back lot, but front door, and there was 2 rows of cars, and I always parked my car in the second row. And I would take the time from walking out of the restaurant to my car to call him and not ask, "Hey, what's up? Hey, do you want to hang out?" No. It was, "Yo, what are we doing tonight?" It was a foregone conclusion that we were going to hang out, because that's just what it was. We might not spend the entire night together. We might not, whatever. He might say, "Oh, actually, I got this, I got that." But it was a foregone conclusion that if we're available, we're going to be hanging out. And that's how I knew, he was a Jewish man. So this is how I knew when all of the Jewish holidays would fall. And I think tonight is one. I think if somebody mentioned something, but I don't know anymore, because I don't have that person who used to be there and used to be the person who show, and it's just a little thing, obviously, but I used to know when all the Jewish holidays were. Shout out to Jamal Suggs. Welcome to the party. Pouring one out for the dead homies. Very, very important. Always got to remember the fallen homies. Welcome to the party, brother. Good to see you. And in the same way that, I knew about when the Jewish holidays were because he couldn't hang out, he would know when Christian holidays were, because I, as a Christian at the time, and then, when I was no longer personally a Christian, but my family is still in, like with Easter and stuff like that, he would be the one who would make sure that I would never have to wake up on Christmas morning by myself. I think so I went to college I was 18 for my first college. So 17, I'm at my parents' house as a kid. Then 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. I woke up alone on Christmas. And, I'm not hugely into Christianity and all that, but I do care very much about Christmas and the types of traditions. And so you want to be able to, especially thinking about when I was a kid and being able to wake up on Christmas morning and run downstairs and the stocking's full and there's presents under the tree and everybody's all that stuff. And then, the holidays kind of lose their luster a little bit as you get older, but at least you have your family to, to appreciate. But a lot of times for me, Christmas was waking up home alone and then, going to my parents' house for lunch for maybe 2 or 3 hours, staying quiet, make sure we don't get in an argument, and then getting home as quickly as I can. Oh, we've got our first guest. I want you all to welcome Ashley. Just give me a thumbs up when you are ready, Ashley. Oh, all right. Let's see. Are we there, Ashley? No. All right, Ashley. If you were looking for the YouTube link to just watch, I can drop that in the chat for you. If you look at the private chat, the link is there if you just want to watch. So the what was I saying? The notion that I would be able to, yeah, that Christmas just wasn't that exciting thing anymore. And even though, as we all get older, like I said, that it loses its luster because we just get older. You're not getting all these presents, but it's replaced with that valuable time that you're spending with your family and the people that you care about. I want to post said, I forgot, sir. Let me update the banner. But I want to post said, being alone on Christmas when you're used to being around friends and family is really a depressing feeling. Absolutely. It's tough, man. And again, even if you're not super religious, it still means something, at least to me. Oh, shout out again to Unwanted Foe for sponsoring the stream so far. Shout out. But yeah, and so it's not a big deal. And for the last 10 years, I've woken up alone on Christmas and it's been fine. But every single Easter, Christmas, whatever, birthday, never was I going to wake up alone on my birthday. And then I just did. We turn on and off light switches from him and all that. I would. He wasn't that he wasn't that like I forget what it's called, but like he wasn't that into it, although his family was pretty serious. Like he kept kosher, but he didn't keep the Sabbath like that. But I definitely would have. I absolutely would have. And it's just one of those things, man. It's just one of those things where you get used to having somebody in your life that understands who you are and what you mean, and especially for somebody like me who, I have very strong opinions. I can be a very brash personality. And he just got it. And it's so funny because after he died, and I'm gonna I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but after he died, it was I would crack up because I know he would laugh at me for getting welled up at like love songs. It's like, yo, this ain't like that at all, bro. Like, nah. But I cared that much about him, not in a romantic way, but there's love songs, sad love songs, and I'm like, oh my God, what is going on here? So Nick says, my condolences, brother. I'm glad your loss makes you appreciate life more instead of letting it hurt you in more ways. I love you, brother. Thank you. And it definitely wasn't always that way. There was a lot of shit that I had to get through before I was able to turn any of this negative energy into a positive. And we're going to get into that. And again, if you have a similar story that you'd like to share, the link is pinned. Come on up. Danielle Cabrera says, I don't mean this in any derogatory way. Well, let's see what we got. So special, like just in general, if you keep kosher, then meat and dairy can never touch the same things. So you have to have one oven for stuff with meat, and then one oven for stuff with any dairy. Same thing for plates and all that stuff. So yeah, they just have a different set of everything for meat versus dairy. So let's go. Let's do this. So one of our good friends. Well, I don't. Let's just our good friend Matt. He sent me something that he wanted me to read to you guys, and then we'll see where we go from there. Let's do this here. So Matt writes, of course, about our boy Akon. 10 years seems like a long time, but that's all relative, I suppose. Yesterday, I had no idea what I was doing 10 years ago. Tomorrow, I couldn't tell you what I was doing 10 years ago. But today, 10 years ago, is forever ingrained in my memory. I drove to Rutgers for biology class, and about halfway through it, I got the worst news. It was hard to focus and think about what to do next, but our friends gathered and confusingly coped together. It's a day that has brought us together to support each other over and over. And so how he died was he got into a motorcycle accident. 7 weeks prior to his accident. Me, Matt, a bunch of other people, hopefully some of the ones that you'll see in pictures, like a bunch of people in this picture. We went to Hawaii for a just a last, maybe not last minute, but a last opportunity as kids as to do something. It was, my friend had his parents had like a villa that they paid that they owned and rented out or whatever, and we were allowed to use it for a week. So all we had to do was fly out there, and everybody wanted to go. It was, I think, a group of 10 of us, and it was so much fun. It was a great time. But Akon didn't quite have the money. He said he could either go on a trip with all of us to Hawaii or buy a motorcycle. And he bought the motorcycle. 7 weeks later, he's on his way to work, and somebody hits him. Now, a lot of my friends have been, kind of up in arms about, when they are trying to find out who did this and who did that. But, to me, it doesn't really matter too much. I think we have another guest here. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Beautiful. So welcome, Kristen. How are you doing? Welcome
Hi.
to the party. How are you?
Hello.
How have you been?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's been a little while.
I know. Rest in peace, Akon. We love you.
Yep. So I was waiting until somebody came up here, but so those of you guys who watch see that I am not wearing my Indian Jesus shirt. I am wearing a Jets jersey with
I have to put mine
3.
on. Oh
Yep,
my
his
gosh,
birthday was
wait.
March 1st. So we got a bunch of these made. I have some pictures that we could take a look at as well. But yeah, I mean, just in general, what kind can you talk about what your life has been like since that day in the last 10 years?
Me?
Mhm.
Yeah, can I put my jersey on too? I totally forgot.
Do it up. Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'll turn the camera off for a bit. I'll be right back.
Oh, we don't get a show?
No.
Hey, we got Papa Lunch in the building. What is good? How are you doing, Dad? He says, I want to add my tribute to Akon. He was a true friend to you, probably as close as a brother. Yes, sir. We had the honor of sharing a meal with him a few weeks before he passed. Papa Lunch. Thank you for being here, Papa Lunch. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to said that's rough about the motorcycle Hawaii choice, but it's nobody's fault at all, just bad luck. Well, that's kind of what I was talking about a little bit, before Christian came up, is that a lot of people were like, we got to get the footage. We got to see what happened. We got to do this. And I'm like, that's not going to bring him back. It's not like he was doing anything nefarious. It's not like he was, getting hunted down. It's not anything like that. It was a traffic accident. And yeah, it's terrible that somebody would hit him and then not stop and all of that. There we go, matching up. And I was just telling them about the actual day when we got the call, And we all, so I remember that when I got the call from a mutual friend, Nick. Hey, we also got Eric Cruz in the building. Let's see if you're muted right now, Eric, but if you unmute, we will be able to hear you.
What's up, guys?
Hey, man, how you been? How you been?
Been good. How about you?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's definitely a tough day, but yeah, we were just going through what it was like. So Eric was my my roommate at the time that all of this happened, and I remember that I got the call from Nick, and that Akon was in an accident, and that he was rushing over my house, and I lived near the hospital, and he was going to pick me up, and we would go, and I'm thinking in my mind, like, oh, he got in an accident. He brought, maybe he's a broken leg or whatever. So I'm sitting at home. I finish my coffee. I pack a bowl. I'm doing my thing. And I'm waiting for him to show up. And I'm thinking, oh, as soon as we get to the hospital, I'm going to be like, dude, come on. It's a work day. You're lying on your back on a work day. Never got to tell that joke. And we weren't sure what was going on. And then we finally got the word. And that was it. That was it. What, Kristen, what was it like for you when you first found out?
It was horrific, honestly. I feel like I was one of the last ones to find out because I was in class at the time. And it was just devastating, And I just remember us getting together and just like being in shock. And some of us were crying, but some of us were too much in shock to even process that feeling yet of like, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, whereas I feel like me and Megan, we were like bawling, but like it makes sense, everyone deals with it differently. But yeah, it's just very traumatic for our whole friend group, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember being one of those people, like I couldn't cry. I didn't know, up until the moment that I heard the words, he didn't make it, which are burned into my brain. I'm still expecting to make this stupid joke about lying down on the job. Yeah. And so, like I said, I was living with Eric at the time. You got to know Akon pretty well, but not for too long. So, what was that experience like for you, watching all of us kind of around, dealing with all that, and then of course, your own experience?
Yeah, I remember when Mel told me, because I think you called her first, and it was very similar. Where it's like I didn't believe it. Like I was like, nah, like there's just no way that happened. Like somebody is like giving somebody false information, or like.
Oh, did we lose him? You're breaking up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like it was hard to get information as to what was actually going on. Yeah, are you on? If you're on Wi-Fi, that usually makes it a little better. But I remember that we had, because Mickey's mom worked in the hospital, and then our other friend Marlene also has somebody working in the hospital. And I remember that while we were waiting, I was sitting with again our friend Mickey, and his mom was working in the hospital, and she knew what was going on. And I'm sitting next to him, and he's on the phone, and she's like, "Mom, please, just tell us what's going on." And she's like, "No, I'm not allowed to do that." And Asian parents, of course, right? And she's just like, no, I can't tell you, and just begging, like, "Mom, please, we need to know what's going on here." And it was our other friend who actually got got through and got the information. So obviously we were all devastated, obviously, but then shit happens, life happens, and then you start to move on. So one of the first things we did was make these jerseys. It says I have some pictures that we'll take a look at. That says Kondioti with his birthday on the back, and we tried to keep the name alive, keep the spirit alive as much as possible, because he was such a glue to our friend group, which is clearly evidenced by the fact that none of us talk anymore. And obviously, we get older, we get busier, we got stuff to do. But I really do feel like he was such a adhesive factor to what we were doing. So let's jump back in. So Matt actually sent in an email that he wanted me to read here. So let's just start this over again. So he said 10 years.
Matt who, Adam? Who Matt?
The drummer guy. I don't really want to be saying last names and stuff, but
oh, sorry.
yeah. All good. So he said 10 years. Seems like a long time, but that's all relative, I suppose. Yesterday, I had no idea what I was doing 10 years ago. Tomorrow, I couldn't tell you what I was doing 10 years ago. But today, 10 years ago, is forever ingrained in my memory. I drove to Rutgers for biology class, and about halfway through it, I got the worst news. It was hard to focus and think about what to do next, but our friends gathered and confusingly coped together. Christian was just talking about how some of us are crying, some of us are... I remember I was just shaking, like nothing. I was just shaking. It's a day that brought us together to support one another. Adam's positive personality was infectious. Facts. There is nobody that met that kid that did not immediately love him. I wish I had an ounce of that. I think, Eric, you're muted. All right. Well, figure that out. Oh, there we go.
Sorry, can you hear me? My internet is acting up.
You're good. Go ahead.
All I was saying is he had a shit ton of charisma. It was like everywhere he went, you like felt it. Where he would just like take control of the room. It was crazy. And he never excluded anybody too. He could have been, he could have been more.
He was a friend to everybody,
which was like the best part.
Absolutely true. True. And I'm somebody who likes to kind of, I feed off other people's energy. Like these days I just hang out here and then I come and talk to you guys. I go to work and then I go home. I get in bed or I come and talk to you guys. That's mostly what I do. But he was always down to do something. He was always down to make something an adventure. Like even if we're just going to Walmart or Target, it's like, yo, you want to go to Target? Like, hell yeah, let's go. And we would have fun doing it. And this is not like, obviously everybody kind of did that when they were like 17, but I'm talking, we're like 23, like, yo, let's go. We having a good time. And he just knew how to make anything into a party. And so, it was that personality that allowed me to come out of my shell and learn how to do that a little bit better and to put myself out there a little bit more. And it's certainly one of the biggest things that I've taken from him since his passing. So let's dive back in here. Adam's positive personality was infectious. He was one to always have a good time, no matter what the situation, no matter where the situation. It seemed like he genuinely lived each day as if it were his last. He enjoyed each moment. He embraced each moment. And he would quickly turn any frown upside down because he always wanted smiling faces around him. He was the glue guy. What'd I say?
You did. He said the adhesive, yeah.
He just, and you guys know, there's always that one person that it's like, all right, are they going to the party? All right, then I'll go. And Akon was always that person. Always. He's the glue guy, the ringleader. He would set the tone for how a day should begin and how the night should end, if it would end, right? All of his intentions were pure and came from positive space. He really loved life and loved putting life into people. A quick story that I'm happy to say has stuck with me when a few of our friends got asked to play. I have pictures of this too. A few of our friends got asked to play music at a charity event. Typical band layout with drums, bass, guitars, and vocals. That was me. We would practice and hang out and go over set list details and all. and Adam was always there. Adam didn't play an instrument. He just saw some of his friends getting together and wanted in on the action. Adam was our roadie, our hype man. He would jump around and raise the energy during our practices. He would help move equipment around. He would pitch in when ordering pizza to keep us going. He was a sense of levity in what could have been a stressful time. Absolutely. And at the end of the event, he, of course, was there with us. He helped bring the gear on stage and the setup. He even helped blow up these mini inflatable guitars that we wanted to toss out to the audience. And throughout our time performing, he was on stage with us, jamming out, tossing inflatable guitars to people, and even playing along the inflatable guitar. It was a blast. It was a blast playing with everyone, and a memory that I'll forever hold and cherish about Adam. I know he's left an impact on just about everyone he's encountered. And I know for myself, I'm grateful for the time that we had together. He gave me memories and a perspective on how to live each day and each moment. The world can be cumbersome at times, but thinking back on how Adam lived helps me get through what we may think of as difficult moments. For moments are simply moments. It's how you react to them, good or bad. Adam has helped me to remind that. Miss you. Thanks for reading, Matt. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Matt. Yeah, I mean, so Nick says, good evening to y'all. Glad you're here. Thank you both for being here for our buddy, and I'm sorry for your loss. He's obviously a wonderful guy that's greatly missed. Indeed, sir. Indeed. So since then, things have been rough. Not every day, but things were rough for a while, and then it comes back. So if you, I'll go to Christian first. What has that experience really been like for you in terms of initially having to get over it and kind of being in a place where, you know, okay, I think I'm doing okay, but then those moments hit.
Yeah. I think I've just learned to embrace the unknown with the grief that comes from this serious loss, you know, of our dear friend. And it's hard because at first you try to like control it. Like I just remember being in class and being like, oh my goodness, I want to cry. And I actually had to step out to cry. This was, you know, many months later, because I was thinking of him. Like some sweet memory came up and I just thought of his smile, or I thought of him back flipping in the high school hallways, you know, and it was like so beautiful, but also it was so emotional. So I think once I learned that it'll come with this, like it'll come in waves, you know, and just applying that and being okay with that and being like, look, I can't control how people will react to how I grieve or how I don't grieve, and that's fine. And just having y'all for support was so helpful as well, you know. And yeah, I mean, there are times where I'm like, I feel like he's with me. And Adam, you know, I'm very spiritual, so you know, I've seen him in my dreams. He's sent me little messages through our favorite like songs we used to listen to. Like sometimes a song will just play and I'll be like, oh my God, I needed his presence right then and there. And I'm just so thankful that, you know, I feel like I can connect to him that way still in that realm. But you know, it's not easy having him in the physical, and I think all of us go through it differently, and it's all well and good and it's all fine. So yeah, that's basically how I would say that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like, I think, you know, like I was saying, like Matt was saying, that he had something that really added to us, and even if he's not physically here, we still have that. Shout out to Free Tacos, welcome to the party. And I think Free Tacos thinks Kristen is hot. Oh, shit, me too. So
Thank
Eric,
you.
I want to ask you a little bit. Oh, is it real? Hey, look who we got, Megan Ambrosi. Shout out to Megan. How are you doing? Yeah, so I wanted to go through some of these pictures that we have here. This is me and Kristen at the first Jets game where we could wear our jerseys. This is a fun one. So, a little bit of a backstory. we would all spend time at the North Brunswick pub. That was the watering ground. And there was always I'm talking, when we're in our 20s, we're talking like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for football, Monday night football, and maybe one other night in between. And there was a specific, once we get drinking and the music is playing, then we get into it. And there was this one little thing, the Akon dance, which looked exactly like this, and that was to commemorate him. Excuse me. This one goes all the way back to college. Look at that lip ring. We have our boy Akon here. And this is also up in the corner here. That is the swimmer guy that was in that hallway where we were, where we lived together. And again, it was him who really allowed us to kind of rekindle our relationship. There is the Akon dance again. We got the pub coming up right there. Shout out to Kristen again. And so yeah, this was our hangout. So I would say, like, I said, I think that Akon was probably about 5'7", right? Because he was kind of like a short guy with me, but he was definitely taller than me. Yeah. What do you do you know where he fit in that?
I feel like he was 5'6", probably 5'7". Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, I'll take that. And this is Nick, the friend who kind of, again, I became friends with after he passed. And I wonder, I'm glad that you're here. I'd love to get your opinion on this. I don't know if I've directly ever asked you this before, but Nick was not necessarily the most upstanding person in all ways. There were certainly aspects of his life that were not ideal. And once Akon died, I kind of felt like, well, if I don't befriend Nick, then he's just going to be friends with all, like, Akon was his best friend in terms of, the just the kind of person that you'd want to be friends with. A lot of the other people that he would hang out with were, not that great of people. And so I felt like if I didn't befriend him the way that Akon would want me to, then he's going to fall into bad places. And it's sad that he and I are not that close anymore, because as much as I wanted to stick with him, at a certain point we all got to grow up, and he's more or less still kind of doing the same stuff that I can't associate with anymore. But did I ever express that to you about how I felt like I needed to be friends with Nick for that reason?
No, I think you more so said that Adam was so close to Nick, and it just felt like it was a tether to Adam, and it was like a common thread, and it just helped you feel really close. And also, I know that you and Nick established a great friendship too, by nature of Adam's passing. So I feel like it was just, for both of you, just kind of a blessing. I know that was the same for me. I wasn't really friends with Nick, and then Adam passed, and I felt like there was such a strong presence of Adam still within Nick in certain ways, like that energy was still there, and like that brightness, or like, that like camaraderie. There are many other things I could say, but
yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. That aspect of, he was Akon was alive, and I think Akon lives in all of us. And the way that we can keep that name alive is seeing that in each other. So that's very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know where Eric went, but if you come back, I have not kicked you out. You're just hanging out backstage. This was 3-1. Of course, this is the reason that we put 3-1 was because of his birthday. But as you see circled on the in the picture, I have, where is it? Oh, right here. This is a little pin that says donate life. So Akon was an organ donor. And I believe, as far as I know, Free Tacos is going in. Shoot your shot, bro. Shoot your shot. She's a nice voice, should narrate books or something. I mean, hey, you got a new side gig. She's a doctor, okay? She don't need to be reading books or nothing. I mean, now you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But yeah, so he was an organ donor.
Thank you for the compliment. Yeah.
He was an organ donor, and so I believe I remember hearing that his heart went to somebody and that his eyes went to somebody. And so to know that, I always wonder if, like if I was walking down the street and I just saw the person that had his eyes, like, would I know? I don't think I like stared into his eyes like that, like that. But
Megan's laughing.
She's loving it. She's loving it. Megan, come on up here. What you doing? What you doing? The link is pinned at the top of the chat. If you want to talk about this, or if you have your own story, come on up and hang out. Yeah, that was the first time we got the jerseys. And should I? Oh, let's play. I don't know if the music is gonna.
No.
This is bad. So this is a Facebook post from 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was living in New Brunswick. Got a phone call. Nick was still driving for fuck's sake. If you know, you know. He was still driving that time. He raced over my house and we sped over to the hospital. I was ready to jokingly give you shit for lying down on a work day. It didn't even cross my mind that it would be a day that changed my life. Yeah. Oh, there's the music. No, that's not fitting. All right, screw that. These were the first two posts I made. The first two posts. I mean, this was 10 years ago, so Facebook was the predominant thing. And anger and fear are a shitty fucking combo. This was before I knew. So I'm asking, please be okay. Please be okay. And then, can't believe this. Can't believe it isn't just another nightmare. And that's really how it felt. But despite how sad it is, like we've been talking about, he instilled so much in me to be able to take that energy and turn it around and build something like we have right here. And it's a lot harder to put into words than I thought it was going to be. So the I guess if you could say one thing to him, if he's back, or he's not even back. He's not even back. You just record a voice message, and he's gonna hear it. What would you say?
Put me on the spot here, huh?
You want me to go first?
No, I could go. Or you could go. Yeah, whatever you want. It's fine. Yeah.
After you. Ladies first.
Ladies. Okay. I would say thank you for teaching me to be present and to have that bright aura, because you carried that with you so flawlessly, and that still lives on. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, I know you're always there, and that you're looking over me in that way and inspiring me to do the same and have that aura for other people. So thanks for being the light, and I love you.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I mean, he knows that. He knows that about himself. He knows he's that guy. But, hearing it is something that I think, anybody would appreciate.
Yeah.
If I could say one thing to him, I would be, I don't know. It's tough because we were so open, and I've said all of the things. And the last thing I ever said to him was that I love you. Like I said, we would hang out every single night. And I called him. Did he call me? Well, I think he called me after work one day. And he's like, yo, let's go out. Me and my coworker's going. I'm like, no. He's like, oh, stop being a pussy. I'm like, nah, I'm just going to hang out. I was like, all right, I love you, dude. And it was that kind of thing. Megan says, thank you for reminding us all to live in the moment. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said, Megan.
Yes.
I think I would have to, again, thank him for showing me that there is somebody. If he was the only one, then at least there was somebody who understood who I was, what I meant, what I stood for, and who I really was. I think now having you guys out there, it's even though we don't always get along and we kind of argue about stuff, you guys are always here and willing to hear me out. And that's just not something that I had for my life for such a long time. When I was a kid, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that you could be I didn't know that you could be understood. I thought that's what life was, is that nobody understands anything about what you're saying. And if you say this, then they're going to assume it's something else. And that took me to some dark places. But when he was there and I'm like, bro, you get it. You know what I mean? Like, you get it. That showed that maybe more than anything else has, gave me the courage and the belief, the faith. Shout out to all y'all. You know what I mean? To put faith in myself, to believe in myself, and to come out here and say these things, knowing that a lot of people don't like to hear what I have to say in general. And then even when they do hear me out, maybe don't want to hear it either. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I wish I've had so many dreams of, we're hanging out and like a bunch of us will be hanging out and he'll like walk around the corner and be there and be like, I got you guys. I was joking. I'd be like, I knew it this whole time. I knew it. And then I wake up and it's like, damn it. I knew that wasn't real, but just for a second to feel like he was back. We have, this was, I think, our last New Year's together. Ooh, okay. So I think this was the first post that I made once I initially, kind of, got myself together, because I'm not sure if there's any bigger gift in life than love and friendship. Bingo. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. So that, like you guys saw earlier in the day, I was like, oh, this has to be a nightmare. This can't be. And so eventually I did, figure out how to gather my thoughts. And this is what I said. I haven't said anything to you yet because I couldn't find the words. I see the massive response from all the lives you've touched as people express their love for you over Facebook and to me personally. Yeah, that's a big part too. Like the fact that people were reaching out to me and saying like, oh, I hope you're okay. Like these people never gave a fuck at all about me. And that's how big this man's Riz. That's how Riz. Oh, he had the Riz. Is that how you say it? I don't know. But you were everything I needed in a brother and a friend. You had my back through everything, and your loyalty never wavered. No one showed me a good time like you did, and I will continue to live my life always looking for a good time. There's a reason we call every stream a party, guys, and that reason is Akon. You showed me how to bust open the doors and take over wherever we go. Everyone you met loved you and fed off your larger-than-life energy. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, I'll be able to carry that with me and share it with others. Your love will never be forgotten. I am broken. I can only rest easy knowing you will never shed a tear or feel pain again. And I stand by that. So let's switch gears a little bit. What is let's think of happy thoughts. What is one of your favorite? It doesn't have to be the top, but first one that comes to mind, your favorite memory of Akon. And this is, no holds barred. So, everybody knows that, certainly everybody knows that I used to be a drug addict and I wasn't doing it by myself, but Christian wasn't. So, but I'm just saying, feel free to let it out there.
Oh, that's so hard. I feel like I don't want to filter my memories, but if I say certain memories, I have to filter them. But
Well, I mean, you could think of, like I said, just going to the pub and having one
I
of
know,
those,
like the first one was going to the pub and just like him doing something inappropriate and just us cracking up.
yeah, like, and sometimes that's all it is. Sometimes it's a collection of those smaller moments.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think for me, I specifically remember, was it? I think it was Hurricane Sandy. Pretty sure it was Hurricane Sandy. Yep, because I do have a picture here from after what I'm about to tell you. But I think so. Me and Marlene, another one of our friends, the two of us were hanging out at his house. We all lived pretty much in the same neighborhood. Storms raging, and we're just hunkered down, like nothing to do but drink. And so we're getting into it, and we're just a little, just having fun, nothing crazy, but just hanging out in his room, just being there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just those little moments.
It's
Megan
literally
says,
the smallest things. That's what
yeah,
it is. Yeah. Oh, Megan
absolutely.
said
Yeah,
something.
Megan says the same thing. It's those little
Yes.
moments. If I
Yeah.
had to think of a big moment, though, a
Yeah.
big moment
Mm-hmm.
was when we went to Electric Zoo. For those of you not familiar, it is a electronic music festival, and this was right in the height of the EDM boom. And so there was maybe like 10 stages. If you're familiar with Randall's Island, let's see if we could pull up how big Randall's Island was. But yeah, so this huge place, and they set up a whole here we go. Of course, why do they do that? So this whole thing, are we still there? Nope. This whole thing was set up with stages and vendors and stuff like that for this massive this massive festival. And again, Akon was not a huge fan of electronic music. Like, he didn't hate it, but I was really the one who was like into it.
Mm-hmm.
And he just would go because he's like, yeah, you're into it, we're gonna have a good time, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one specific song I was thinking about, like my ex at the time or whatever, and the producers of the song were playing the festival, and I was like, okay, whatever happens today, we need to be together for this song. And so it was me, Akon, and Nick.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't there, right?
Mm-mm.
So it was me, Akon, and Nick, and then Eric, who was just up here, his girlfriend, and I think some of her friends, and maybe a couple of other people. And so, like, I'm like, yeah, this is what no matter what happens throughout the day, we're gonna have fun no matter what we're doing. But when this song comes on, I want us all to be together.
Mm-hmm.
And we were hanging out, throughout the day, whatever. And, let's say it was 7 p.m. when these people are taking the stage. And, we don't have to be right there. It's probably not going to be the first song. Shout out to Doodad Attack. What's going on? Welcome to the party. A little bit darker of a show tonight, but that is okay. We're making it a party anyway. And so if you're familiar with Above and Beyond, the song was Sun and Moon that I just had to see. I had to see it live. They do such a fantastic job of creating a real show. I remember when I was younger and I was into rock music, I was like, why would anybody want to go see electronic music? They're just standing there and not doing anything. But little did I know, they have it kind of almost bores me now to go to rock shows because electronic music would spoil me. With the fireworks and the huge LED screens and all the visuals and the bass and all of that stuff. So we're having a good time, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Where did we go though, Adam? We went to Governor's Island. Is that what?
Yeah, I think we went to. There was one festival we went to. I don't think it was EDC. I think it was a smaller one. But she did. Oh no! We went to go see Carl Cox.
Oh, yeah.
Carl Cox! Shout out to Carl Cox. Fucking Larry! Fucking Larry! Oh my god. Yo. there was this dude, long story short, he was kind of my friend, but kind of not. And he weirded out. And then he got mad that we walked away from him and didn't hold his hand the whole time. And then he came to my hotel room with my other roommate, who was a big dude, and tried to bite me. And that didn't work out for him. But so she is a good Christian girl. Also going to an EDM festival. Shout out to Kristen. And so, yeah, we're hanging out. We're doing our thing. And it's getting around that time. And so we move towards where that stage is, and the Akon and Nick were like, all right, we're gonna go do a little bit more Molly. I'm like, all right, yo, just like come right back here. Like I'm gonna take reference of how far from the stage, and because everybody like, oh, meet by the Ferris wheel. And it's like the Ferris wheel is gigantic. The entire festival is around the Ferris wheel. And so you always want to pick very specific spots. So I think I remember where the grass ended and the dance floor started. I was like, all right, we're right at the edge. So you go, do your thing. I'm good for now. Go and come back. Don't let me stand here by myself. So then they leave. I'm standing there by myself, and they're kind of doing their thing. And I don't know where they are, and everybody's on drugs. So I don't know if they're going to remember where we were or anything like that. I'm getting kind of frustrated. As they're going, song. I'm like, the song's gonna be coming up soon, and right before I was like, all right, let me just go look for them and bring them back, and then whatever. I see Eric and his girlfriend and their friends right at that stage, because we're all really into this Above and Beyond group, and I'm like, oh, okay. So they're like far enough away that I couldn't like yell out to them, so I have to go find them. But if I go find them, then I'm leaving the spot where Akon and Nick know I am. So I'm so like, what do I do? What do I do? Do I want to be alone? I'm not being all right. Screw them. I don't know where they're on something. Who knows if they're gonna make it back? And so I go to meet Eric and Mel and their friends, and it just so happened that 2 more songs go, and Akon and Nick are nowhere to be found. I'm looking around. I'm like, if they. I'll be waving out to them, whatever. You guys know I had the gloves. So I'd turn the lights on and be like, look, I'm over here. And nothing. So the song starts. The Sun and Moon. It's a great song. Look it up if you're not familiar with it. Yeah. It starts. And I'm about to be pissed. But I don't want to be pissed because this is the moment I've been waiting for. And the song starts. And I'm like, all right, fuck them. I'm into this. And then as soon as I think that, I feel a tap on the shoulder, and he just jumps like, oh, and we're all together, and it was perfect. It was perfect. Amazing moment. Oh, we have another guest to join us. Shout out to Trey. Welcome, Trey. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good, my man. What's up? How you doing?
Doing all right. A little bit of reminiscing with my friend Kristen here.
How you doing, Miss Kristen? I'm Trey, the token black guy in the Discord.
He's the token black guy.
Okay, nice to meet you, Trey. How you doing?
I'm good. I came up here to give Lunch a little support.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that.
Yeah, like me and you have kind of talked about some of my life story, and yeah, so like I definitely know what you're going through. So,
do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can. Basically, so I'm the baby of my family. I have 2 older sisters that are 10 and 9 years older than me.
Beta. And, sorry, I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself. Sorry. Seriously.
One weekend, I went to go spend the weekend with my sister, and she was killed. She actually died in my arms, and yeah, like it was a very it was a weird day because
right. Weird is the perfect word.
Yeah.
Just weird.
Because it was. I mean, it started like any other day. Like it was a Friday, and at the time I was living with my child's mom, and we lived out of town from Dallas because I'm from Dallas, and we lived like an hour and a half outside of Dallas. And I had told her like, hey, I'm gonna go spend the weekend at the house. So I went home and I was just chilling. I took my nephews to school, and when I got home, I went to go use the restroom, roll a bleezy, and my sister, she was late for work. it's ironic. I'm laughing because like the last words that we said to each other before she died, like she was late for work, and I was like, bro, you're gonna be late for your own funeral.
Oof.
And
Oh.
like we laughed about it, like just laughed about it. And she went in her room, and her boyfriend at the time, he was like a plug, like he was like the plug. He sold weed and shit. And I had actually like stole some weed from him, so I, I was waiting till he left to roll another blunt because as far as he was concerned, I only had like a gram on me.
Hmm.
And so I the weird thing about it, I was watching TV, but for some reason it was dead silent in the house. Like I vividly remember watching MTV2. That's when they showed nothing but like ridiculousness. And so
Yeah,
I
yeah,
used to
yeah,
get high
yeah.
and just watch that shit.
Yep.
But for some reason there was no sound in the house. Like absolutely no sound. Like it's almost like I had the TV on mute. And I know I was watching it, so I don't even understand why the TV was on mute. And there was two gunshots, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I thought I was tweaking, like because it sounded close. Like I'm used to hearing gunshots, and I was like, "Oh," but this sounded like directly around me.
Like close. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
and
There's
then I
there's
heard the
hearing
fire
gunshots
alarm
and
go
there's
off.
hearing gunshots close. That's two different
Yeah,
things.
and then the fire alarm in their room, like the smoke detector in their room, went off. And I was like, "What the fuck?" So the way my sister's house was, her bathroom and her door were like directly adjacent from each other. So if you opened her door, you're going to look directly at the bathroom. And then it's the hallway. And as I was getting ready to like walk in her door and like open it to be like, bro, what the fuck are y'all in here doing? Like something literally just stopped me. Like, I mean, let you know my religious beliefs. So, I believe in God and stuff. So I believed there was God.
Mm.
Like, literally stopped me from standing in front of the door. And right when I stopped, I was like, yo, what are y'all in there doing? And like six bullets went through the door. And
Jesus.
I panicked. Like I panicked. I keep a gun in my car just because I'm licensed to carry. So and it's Texas, so why not? So
Right.
I
Oh
keep a
yeah.
gun in my car and I panicked so much that I didn't even realize that I didn't grab my keys. I just ran out the door
Mm-hmm.
and my car door was locked and shit. So I'm like, fuck. And I went and stood on the third floor, like the third floor of the apartment building. Well, it was townhomes, but they had
Mhm.
like three stories and stuff. So we had like a back stairwell to go up to the top of the townhome. And like the town, like basically the third floor was the porch. And so I'm up there and I'm just panicking. And this lady, like, she was sitting on her porch and she was like, "Baby, you hear them gunshots?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I came up here to see what was going on." She was like, "But I know all along, like it just literally happened in my apartment." And I look up and bro's just walking. Like he like he literally looked like someone that was just going walking to go check the mail. Like he
Was
didn't
this
just do what he did.
was this someone random or is this somebody that
No,
knew
it
your
was
sister?
my sister's boyfriend. And like
Mm,
dude, like him and my sister have been dating like 5 years. Never abusive. Cause like even at one point in time I lived with him. Never abusive, very cool dude, very good dude. Like, I mean, he's a piece of shit to me now, but at the time I won't like shit on his character at that moment because none of us ever thought he would do what he did.
mhm.
And I just remember running back into the house when I seen him, and he left the gun just sitting on the front porch. And so me not thinking, I picked the gun up because it's like I might as well just have this in my hand just in case. And my sister was crawling, like she was crawling out her bedroom,
Oh my
and
God.
I just held her, and like she was looking at me, and I'll never forget that look because it was like a look of like, oh shit, this is the end. Like it literally looked on her face like I know this is it. Like this is it. This is over. I'm finna die. And like I'm just doing the normal shit that people do. Like it felt like a movie to a degree.
Yep.
Mhm.
Like the whole breathe. Like come on, man, breathe, breathe. Like I but even then I wasn't thinking because I haven't called 911. I haven't called nobody. But
Just in that moment, it's just
ironically enough, because some of the bullets, like the way the townhomes were set up, they were like facing each other. Like so one wall separated us from the other townhome. And the bullets, when they went through the bathroom, went through a lady's bedroom like wall. And so she was like, "Yo, I just happened to be like standing up at the time. Otherwise, like that shit would have hit me in my back or something." So she called 911. And I was just holding my sister, and I told her I loved her, like, yo, like I love you, because me and my sister, we were like she was the mom I got to tell all the stupid shit to
mm.
without having to deal with my mom's like actual reaction to shit. I could just tell my sister the shit.
Was she your
And
next the next sister or
yeah,
like
my
did you?
oldest, like my oldest
Oh,
sister. So like
okay.
at the time I was 25. Yeah,
Mhm.
I was 25. And so she would have to be 36, 35, 36. And like we were like always close. Like me and my middle sister, we've gotten closer since my sister died. But at that time, like we wouldn't even speak to each other. Like, but we both hung with my oldest sister. And like that day, like the hardest part of that day was calling my mom.
Oof.
Cause like I had to call my mom and be like, yo, like Chastity's like she's dead. Like it at that point she did.
Oh, did we lose him? Oh man. You there, Trey? Oh well, you can come back in and I'll keep you up here whenever you just keep talking and we'll stop when you do. Megan says, I am sorry for your loss, Trey, as we all are. Oh, there he is. No. Well, in the meantime, shout out to Bon Zig. Welcome to the party. RIP to Akon and RIP to Trey's sister.
A lot, and everything happened like so fast.
There we go. Everything. So, and how long ago was this, Trey?
March 23rd, 2018.
And what have you since that happened, I was talking to Kristen about the notion of you originally need to deal with everything, and then obviously it never goes away. You're never healed, but you get to a place where you're okay. You can go and live life.
Yeah.
But even after that point, there's still the aspect of this hanging over your head, and it'll hit you at random times. What has that been like since she's been gone?
It definitely comes and goes. I went to therapy for a very long time
I should
because
have done that. I just did a bunch of drugs.
yeah, well, I had tried to commit suicide twice. Um, for like at least the first 3 months, I would always dream about that night.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to therapy, that's when my therapist told me, she was like, "Yo, you have like extreme survivor's remorse."
Yep.
And she's like, even though I'm the baby but I'm the only boy. So she was like,
Mm-hmm.
there's always a big part of you that felt like you are still supposed to be the protector
Right.
of your sisters. And in that moment I did feel like I felt. Um I would say it definitely caused me my relationship with my second child's mom. Just because I mentally unraveled. Um like I was no good to nobody. It got
Mm-hmm.
so bad, like God rest the dead, my uncle at the time, he basically had a crack house. And he let me just stay in the back room of his crack house. Cause, I broke up with my girl and she had basically put me out and stuff. And I didn't want to live with my mom just because that was so depressing. Cause my mom, she was just a wreck from it. And so it was a lot. Like it was a lot. And I'll never forget this 2020 during COVID, I had a dream. and it was me and my nephew, her oldest son. We were sitting at a table, and there was a knock on the door. And when I opened the door, it was my sister. And like I hugged her, and I was like, "Yo, I miss you so much. Like, I fucking miss you, man." And my
Mhm.
sister being my sister, because I used to always bug her whenever she walked through the door, she pushes me off, and she's like, "Bro, what are you talking about? Like, I haven't went nowhere. Like, I've been here this whole time. Like, what are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And to this day, that dream is stuck with me, and it actually helps me because
Mhm.
that dream, to me, it felt like that dream was like her coming back to be like, "Bro, I'm
That's
still
right.
here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like my mom, like I don't even remember saying this when cause I had surgery earlier this year. My mom said as soon as I got back in my room, like when I was still on the anesthesia and stuff, that my mom said I looked at her and I was crying. And I was like, my sister came to me and told me I was gonna be okay during the surgery.
Wow.
And
Mm.
like I told her, like I was like, I don't remember saying any of that. Like I don't remember none of that. And
You
Wow.
she
go,
was like, yeah, like you
"Bah."
were, yeah, she was like, yeah, like you were really crying. Like my girl, she was like, yeah, you were really crying. And you were like, my sister came back and seen me and she told me everything's gonna be okay and she's got my back and it's not time for me to come. And I
Mhm.
was just like, oh shit. And like me and her son is very, very close. Like we were always close because they're like 5 years, 7 years younger than me. So they're almost like little brothers to me more than like uncle nephew. So, I've gotten real close to my nephews and I just kind of, live vicariously. Like we live out a lot of things that I know their moms would want them to be doing. And, that's pretty much how I cope with it at this point.
Good shit, man. I mean, yeah, that is tough. And obviously, I'm talking about family is thicker than blood and all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, he was not he was not my family. And as much as I would like to say that he was, and I do believe that, there's just a little bridge there between, I think, actually a family member, specifically if you are close with them. Nick's saying there's a saying, time heals all wounds, and maybe it does, but it can certainly leave horrible scars.
Yeah.
Well said, sir.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a big fact. I think,
So,
so, yeah, go.
well, just to kind of get the the both sides. What kind of things, especially being an older sister, what kind of things when you maybe when you get down or maybe you just randomly get reminded? What are some of the things that maybe she is gone, but her essence, her spirit, whatever you want to call it? What are the types of things that show you that her spirit or energy is still alive?
Um, just just like little random things. Like I was at work today. Like even today, like I was just at work and a Facebook memory popped up. And at one point in time, we used to always like catch each other slipping with our phones. And
Mm.
'cause Facebook don't lock you out no more. And I had caught her slipping with her phone, and I put on her Facebook status, "I eat coochie." And nobody else found, like my mom them did not find that shit funny. Me and my sister did
Oh
just because we
man.
fuck with each other like that. But she tagged me in one of the comments and was like, "You little jackass." And it was one of the memories that we had on Facebook. Like now that it brings it up, and it's like, oh shit, I remember this. Like I remember this moment, and just like little stuff like my son, he has like a lot of like memories of my sister, and like last Thanksgiving, he was like, his auntie Chastity go come from heaven and visit us and things like that. Where like we've never let her memory die. And like some days it is sad because it's like, damn, you are gone. But for the most part, it is
Not
like
forgotten.
it's joyous because there's like so many stories of just fuckery my sister's helped me through. Like she was my like she was my fixer. So like if I fuck something up, I'm calling her like, yo, I fucked up and I need to get out of this. And she'd be
Help
like, all
save the
right,
day.
give me an hour. And like when she died, that's when I realized like how much I depended on her and
Mm.
how
You don't
much
know what
like
you got until it's gone.
yeah, and just in general, like me and my sister would talk every day, like almost every single day we talk. And whenever I would be mad at my girlfriend or whenever I was just mad at the world, I would call her and just vent. Like she wouldn't even say that. She would just let me talk for like 2 hours straight and just vent. And then I found myself not even being able to do that. And that's actually what hurt the hardest was like I don't have that shoulder to go to no more.
You know, I totally feel
And
you.
yeah, and like my family, they've helped me a lot because like my mom, we actually we talked about it this year around the day she died. Because my mom just sat down and she was like, I've been so depressed about it. It never really hit me that she died in your arm and the way that you deal with about the situation. So my mom has like she's really been like a big like help these past few months of like actually helping me really work through it. Like my whole family basically was like we all did kind of gloss over the fact that she died in your arm. Like it's wild that it's because everybody was just so hurt that our sister died that nobody
Nobody
actually
was thinking
realized
about
it.
Trey.
Yeah,
Everybody
and
forgot
I dealt
about
with
Trey.
I was mad about that for a while. Like I was like for a while I was mad. Like I was so mad and actually me the weird enough the dude that killed my sister helped me because like we used to always talk like in the morning because he was trapping. I didn't really know because I knew he drove trucks, but like at one point in time he stopped driving trucks and he was basically trapping. But he would be home early in the morning, like he was still going to work. And so when we would just be up smoking, he would just talk to me. And he like one day he was just like you still young, so a
Is this
lot of shit
before or
don't make
after?
sense before.
Okay.
And he was like, this was probably like actually like a week before it happened. And he was just like, bro, the world goes on. He was like, he like a lot of times we don't like to hear it. A lot of times we don't want to hear it. But he was like, yo, like the world goes on, and you do still have to live life, like regardless of what happens in your life. And I was like, oh shit, like you're right. And my nephew, like his like first 2 weeks back at school, he got kicked out of school because they was kids just being kids talking shit, and one of them made a your mama joke to him. And his mom's only been dead 2 weeks, and he spazzed out, stomped the kid out and shit. And it helped me get a little bit of normalcy in my life because I had to sit and tell him like, the world's not gonna give a fuck that your mom died, bro. Because there's a million other kids out here with dead parents, dead siblings, dead. Like the world is going to keep going. It's going to move on. Like no girl is going to be okay with you being a shithead just because your mom died. No job is gonna be okay with you being a bullshitter just because your mom died. So, you gotta get your shit together and kind of move on.
Yeah.
And it was almost like I was talking to myself at that time.
Facts. And that's really the hardest part is just reconfiguring your world, your life to and again, I remember saying it. We were at the hospital. I remember sitting on the curb and I remember saying like, well, this is our life now. And just having that out of body experience. Everybody is around crying and I'm just sitting there like in shock.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we got to deal with now. And I didn't realize how deep that would hold true. But again, on the same time, the other side of that is because, or I guess whether or not I was prepared, the fact that we were forced into that situation of this is our life now, it really tested my ability to be. I was definitely suicidal throughout at least some of that time. I had gotten arrested, and I've told you guys about how when I was on probation I couldn't smoke. that I was drinking and I drank way too much, and then I was getting into coke and doing all that stuff. I remember when Akon first died, I tried powdered. I didn't shoot it, but like a week, I was straight up doing heroin, and it was bad. It was bad, but because of him, I was able to look at myself and say, number one, this isn't good for me. This isn't what he would want, and it's not going to bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
And so the only thing that we can do in the face of such tragedy is to force ourselves to take the positives and put them at the forefront, because it's so easy to focus on the negatives.
Yep.
That if we don't have another way, you're gonna lose yourself. You're gonna lose yourself. Thank you so much for sharing that, Trey. Unwanted Foe said, people often learn the most when teaching others. Well said. Yeah. And it sounds like that was, a pretty big moment for you, Trey, when you were able to articulate that. Then, like you said, you're kind of talking to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Death is weird. Death is definitely weird.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. So let me go back to Kristen, not Christian, even though she is a Christian. How did, so you're a doctor of psychology, right?
Yeah. Non-traditional doctor of psychology.
Okay. And so I mean, I went to school for psychology, but I got a bachelor's degree, which I'm sure you know better than me. I don't know shit, especially in psychology. Do you think that having that academic background in how the mind itself, how that works, do you think that gave you any maybe coping mechanisms, or did that help you? Did it make it worse that I should be able to figure this out? What was that kind of like? Because I know I certainly felt a little bit of that.
Yeah, that's a loaded question. Just going back to 10 years ago, let me see. So I felt like I was in the beginning of grad school then, so I hadn't learned too much about grief yet, and especially traumatic grief, because this was traumatic for all of us. It wasn't like, it was building up and then we kind of had an inkling that it was going to happen. It just happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So interestingly enough, I was in a trauma course. I was enrolled in it at that time. And that's what I was talking about. Like months later, I found myself crying because there was something that was brought up in class, and then it triggered a memory of Adam. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I don't know. It's just interesting that it was so coincidental that in that specific part of my very long graduate career, that's when I was enrolled in the class. So I feel like in that regard, it was a blessing, and I was learning to apply things as I was learning them. Like literally learned them that day, and I was like, okay, this is applicable. Maybe I can share it with you guys. Maybe it'll help. Maybe it won't. But there's no like framework or groundwork that can tell you exactly what to do. It's your experience. Thankfully, I was in therapy at the time, or I soon later joined therapy. And that really helped me. But I think the most profound thing that helped was having our community of friends. Like that's what helped,
Shout out to community, having people around you.
Yes. Because if you don't have people to support you through such a traumatic event, you can just fall and flounder. And I mean, we still fell and we still floundered. And, that's not to say that, that helped completely, but having that support was just so beautiful. And it truly did help. At least for me, I can say that really helped. So, I mean, yes and no to answer your question. Yes and no. No one can tell you what you're going to go through and how you're going to cope with it until you actually do it and see, what works for you and what doesn't. So.
I hear you. And there was, for me, there was so many things that like I mean, I generally am somebody to over intellectualize and over
Yeah.
analyze and like try to make it like if I just think about it in the right way, then it'll work.
Yeah.
And for a lot of things that does work. But
Mhm.
you know, it's kind of nice to know that it's because I mean, my plan was to get a PhD, and you know, that didn't happen. But it's nice to know that even if I'd gone and learned everything that I could have learned, that it's not like there's an answer in a book as to how to
Mm-mm.
recover.
Mm-mm.
There might be guides, and there might be things that you can learn to help you on your journey, but that's really what it is. It's a journey of experience and learning how to be a be a person
Mhm.
lacking something that you would come to take for granted.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
And
I think like with like Akon situation, I think that one probably would have been harder for me to handle,
really,
strictly
why do you say
because
that?
Hmm.
there was like almost no one to like point the finger at.
Well,
Like
yeah, I was talking a little bit before about because like it was, you know, somebody did hit him. A car did hit him,
Yeah.
and a lot of friends were like, "Oh, we got to get the footage. We got to find this dude. We got to da 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 da." And I'm like, I have zero interest in spending any time on that because it's not going to bring him back.
Mhm.
yeah,
You know?
like one of the true first steps for me healing was the day he got sentenced. You know, like we get to do the whole like family impact statements and stuff. And
Yeah.
initially, I planned on showing my ass. Like
You
my
said
initial
initially what?
goal, like initially, I planned on going up there and acting a fool and calling them every SOB that I could imagine. And you know, my mom was there, my grandparents were there, my best friend, he was there because like that was like a sister to him too. Because my sister, like I said, she helped us get through so much fuck shit. And as I sat down and I looked at him, and like he looked me in the eyes like a man. Like he looked me dead in the eyes, and it was just like both of our lives are ruined at this point.
Yeah.
And to a degree, I felt a sense of pittiness.
Mm.
Like I pitied him, and I remember looking at him and being like, "Yo, this is between you and God now." Like everything, like, cause my grandparents have always taught me, you know, you have no heaven or hell to put a man in. Like, you know, every ditch you dig, be prepared to dig another one for yourself, cause you're no better than the next man. And I just remember looking at him and being like, "Yo, this is between you and God. Whatever
Mm.
peace you find, that's good for you. You know what I'm saying? You deal with that. You gotta say your Hail Marys. You gotta go sit down for 50 years. So, you know, your life is pretty much over just like mine is pretty much over in my mind. So you
Well,
find that peace, I'ma find the peace out here, and you know, we just go wash our hands of this cause me being mad at you ain't gonna help the
right.
situation.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that was the like first step of my personal recovery.
Mm.
And that's exactly that's exactly, you know, my kind of mindset is that's what you have to do, because if you're in a mindset of vengeance or revenge, you're not going to heal. You're not going to heal.
Mhm.
M169 says, I lost my sister this past June. I'm so sorry to hear.
Yeah.
It still feels weird when I reach for the phone and it hits. She was my big sister, 17 years between us, but we were close. Well, let's drink to M169 sister.
Yeah, condolences, my man. Condolences. You know, I lost my sister, so trust me, I know that pain. It's a
Mm.
like a sibling. Like I remember telling you, for like as close as you and like you know your siblings aren't, that's going to be a pain that you can't help but feel because one, like me and my middle sister, we had talked, and she was like, if you were to die or anything, I would have felt nothing but regret because I felt like I judged you most of my life.
Hmm.
And she was like, I felt like a lot of your shortcomings, I feel like my mom let me get away with and stuff, and we kind of just had this weird sibling rivalry where we felt like we need to be better than each other. And she was just like, all of that shit don't matter, because if you were to die, I would be just as heartbroken. And I sat there and thought about it. I was like, because me and my middle sister, we wouldn't even say hi to each other. Like we did not talk at all. And I sat there and thought about it and was like, I would be hurt and I would have a lot of regret, because it's like, at the end of the day, we're family. Like, we share the same blood. And just because we both have this weird competition between each other doesn't mean that we shouldn't be able to actually speak and talk to each other.
Yeah, that's the other side of family is thicker than blood, is that it doesn't mean that if you share my blood, then you can't be family. That's not at all what it means. It just means that the moniker of family is something that you earn. So there's maybe two people that I see in my life that share my blood that I call family. And I'm always kind of it's a whole thing right now. What are you doing, Mark? Where here, I'm going back to this, Nick. There's a whole you can't sit like that, bro. This dog. There's a whole thing where we're that exact thing that you're talking about, where it's like, all right, we're getting older, parents are getting older, like we gotta figure out what's going on here. And I wish that I was in a better situation with my siblings, and for exactly the reason that you're talking about. It's something that I feel like I don't even know. I'm pretty sure that they haven't, but I don't even know if I have an older brother and a younger sister. I don't even know if they've gone through any kind of loss like this. I don't even know. I don't think so, but I don't think I would know. And it's a tough thing, but before all of this, it was just like, oh well, we're not friends, and so screw you, blah 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 blah. And then it really gives you perspective that, like, okay, nothing lasts forever, and maybe we don't super get along, but nobody else knows what it was like, at 5:30 in the morning on Saturdays when me and my brother would get up and watch Garfield and sneak into the basement because we weren't allowed to be up yet, or something. Like, just the little things like that. It teaches you to appreciate what you have. Because there's no avoiding loss. There's no avoiding loss. It's going to happen. Like Nick is talking about. Says, my dad died of cancer when I was 2.5 years old. He's only 31. Damn, brother. So expected it to really get to me when I turned 31 or 32, but it hit me when I turned 33 and realized life goes on without them. Yeah, that's very similar. My shout out again to Papa Lutch. His dad died when he was 49. So I remember when Papa Lutch was turning 49, he was like sketched out. Like, I mean, not like constantly, but for that whole year. It was just like, all right, we're at 49. And I remember his 50th birthday. Like, I could see the difference that he was just like, okay. That's not like a thing. And, I'm not to throw in no shade, but just, as a religious person, as somebody who believes in, divinity and stuff like that, I could totally see how there would be, a reason to be afraid of that. And even without that stuff, it's just like, weird coincidences happen. And again, it's that ability to overcome. It's that ability to overcome that I think underlines just everything that we talk about. Everything that we talk about with the discourse in this country, and with the education system, and Ukraine, and the trances, and this and then that, and all of that stuff comes down to the sanctity of life, that each person is so valuable in and of themselves.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for us to see that without being reminded. And it's good that we're not reminded all the fucking time. But, sometimes it's tough.
I mean, like, with me, I know for at least like 2 or 3 years, death consumed me.
Mhm.
Like I, it almost drove me crazy because like I wanted to know what was in the afterlife. Like what is the afterlife going to be like? What are like is or do we die and that's just it? Like what is it?
Ooh,
And that
you.
consumed
Thank you,
me.
Trey. Thank you, Trey.
That
I
consumed
would
me almost more
love
than anything.
I would love to. So, as somebody, as people who do have faith in Christianity and the afterlife and God, where so actually, let me preface it by as somebody who was already an atheist at that point. I never thought about like, oh, he's in a better place. He's in a, and again, I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but I never thought of it like that. And so there was no easy answer for me to be like, aside from, what I said in that Facebook post that I know that he's never going to have to shed a tear or feel pain ever again. And that was the only, I had to dig for that to find that solace. So Christian, I'll ask you, did your faith or how did your faith play a part in your recovery, your mourning, your coping with all this? How did, just in general?
Yeah, I think you made a good point, and just knowing that he was in a better place or a peaceful place from the onset, just having that in my mind, like, okay, regardless of how much pain he was in during the tragedy, he's now painless and, in this peace and relief and looking over us and being our guardian angels. That was the word that always came through to me, that gave me this consolation and this solace and this comfort, and just knowing that he'll appear in certain ways and I'll get messages from him in certain ways. And I have, and I do find so much beauty in that, but I also can understand how like other people wouldn't, and it could just be super hard regardless. So for me, it was very grounding in that faith, and just that knowingness is just the best way to describe it. Just that one word of knowingness. Yeah.
Hmm. Trey, what about you? How do you think your faith impacted your recovery and your just your everyday life now when you think about it?
Um, it definitely helped. Like it's a mixed bag because I am a person that also does like I don't believe all of us just go to the better place. Like
Mhm.
there's a heaven and there's a hell, and so
Mhm.
if we live certain lifestyles, you can't be crazy to think that somebody doesn't just go to heaven. But even then, I think we just all choose to put our person in a better place, or just say our person's in heaven, just
Mhm.
because it does help us cope and deal with it.
Yes.
Um, I think the biggest problem at the moment for me was looking at my sister take her last breaths in this complete look of fear. Like, I've seen people be
Yeah.
scared, and I've seen, like, lack of better terms, I've seen niggas have scary moments where, like, somebody punked them, or, somebody started shooting, but it wasn't around us. But I've never seen fear like that. Like, I never seen that look on a person
Mhm.
of the realization of this is it. I'm about to die.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine.
And that's the part that burnt in my memory more than anything, because it was almost like her staring into the abyss of like, this is it. And to me, I just wondered, one, what she was thinking at that very moment, and two, what was the initial of I'm dead felt like.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, those were the two things that set on my mind heavy. And I just remember, like, cause the week, like, we do it every spring break. We take all our kids, family, like everybody. We out. And that year we went to Florida. We went to Destin, Florida. And it was one day I was looking for her through the Airbnb, and my mom was like, "Oh, she's outside on the beach." And I was like, "All right, it's nighttime and shit." And I went out there, and she was just smoking and just staring out at the ocean. And I was like, "You good?" And she was just like, "Yeah, like I'm good. Like I'm at peace. Like I feel completely at peace."
I think that's kind of like an underlying theme of all of this, is that regardless of what you believe about what happens, that you can understand the pain of the existential pain of being here, whether you believe that life is a waiting room for an afterlife or this is all we have. You completely understand that this is an experience that comes with a lot of pain, whether or not it comes with a lot of benefits as well. And so, the understanding that pain, that struggle and just the fear of that death that you saw in her eyes, that it was occurring at that moment, but then it disappears. It disappears. And that I think is, especially for somebody who doesn't believe in divinity, I think that is in and of itself something beautiful, that we can see the darkness, and then at a certain point accept that our time here is limited, and whether or not we're going somewhere else, then we still have this life to make sure that we're grabbing by the balls. You know what I mean? Megan Ambrosi says, my faith definitely helps me when someone passes. I think they are no longer suffering. They are at peace. And I try to think of the people already gone who are welcoming them in. That's what helps me. Yeah, I'm jealous. I am jealous. Certainly jealous. Like when I tell you guys that there's no replacement for that belief. The belief and the understanding that there's someone watching out, this is all part of a plan, and everything is going to be taken care of. Man, if I could get that back. If I could get that back.
It definitely gives you a sense of peace. Like it definitely helps. It does give you a sense of peace, just because you latch on to it. Like you latch on to, they're in heaven, they're in a better place, there's no more pain. And to a degree, I think the only difference between us and you is we believe that the afterlife is heaven, where you said literally the same thing of he's not in pain no more, he doesn't have to deal with the bullshit on earth.
Right.
So it's like you have, to a degree, the same mindset as us. We just put them in an actual place, compared to you just being like, yo, I'm not worried about you having to deal with the world anymore. And to a degree, that's that's just as helpful. Like, for you to be like, yo, this is the world we live in now. I couldn't process that at first. Like it took me to the end of 2020 to be able to actually process, like, okay, this is life without my sister. This is life now. And we're in 2023, and I'm finally at the point where, like, hearing random pops don't scare me no more, and shit like that. Where at one point in time I couldn't do shit. Like I was just frozen, because I like I said, death consumed me. I couldn't understand what life was going to be like. Like I couldn't understand, and then I got even more scared because, and like I had already had like homeboys I knew die, but then like people I started actually kicking it with, and people that I would see almost every day, they started dying. Where like first it was my sister, then I had another friend after that died, that like I kicked it with him almost every day on the block. Whether it was just a what's up with it, smoke a blunt type shit, move on. It was like a person I seen every day. So then once you start losing people that you would see every day, that's when it really kind of gets to you and consume you, of like, damn, what is after this? Where do we go? And it brings it back to you and your own mortality.
Yep. And I completely agree, because thinking about this idea of family is thicker than blood, it's just that, like, there are people who, are my relatives who I do share that blood with, where, obviously it would be terrible if they passed, but is it going to change my daily routine? Am I going to think about it every day for months on end? Probably not. That doesn't, and I had to come to terms with that. And like, cause I felt like a bad person for caring so much about this when, I'd been lucky enough that I didn't have any close deaths to me before this. Like, this is my first big death of somebody close to me. I'm not, again, I'm not that close to my family. And we were all young kids, but that finality is something that once you there's a before and there's after. That's what, when I was sitting there, I'm like, this is life now. So if I could ask, I'll put you on the spot again, guys. We'll go to I got a couple comments, but I'll ask the question and we'll go to comments and then we'll come back. So if you could give some type of advice or just words of wisdom to somebody who's been lucky enough to have avoided this type of experience where somebody very close to them has died, it's damn near guaranteed to happen to you at some point. Knock on wood, but it's guaranteed to happen. What can you say about how to go from the before time to the after time? So sit on that. Let's go to M169 said, Trey, you had double trauma. You not only lost your sister, it was by violence, and that's a situation I can't begin to fathom. Yeah. Bonzig says, I understand what Trey's been through. After a while, you become numb.
Yeah.
Nick says, I think we deal with the losses until the day we die. I don't want to forget about anyone, but I don't want to let it negatively affect me. A hard balance to find. Well said, sir. There's a quote that has been helpful to me throughout all of this, that everyone dies twice. Everyone dies twice. Once when your body dies, and again, the last time your name is spoken. So what I am, looking to do here, aside from, I thought we might have a few more of us come together. So grateful to have Kristen here. I don't know why I keep saying Christian.
We're talking about divinity and just, we're in that realm, so no worries.
And so it's an entirely different way of viewing the world. So again, but putting you on the spot, if somebody's been lucky enough to avoid this type of trauma, what can you tell them about that when that happens? What can you do?
Trey, do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Ladies first.
Oh, well, thanks. It's a common theme tonight. Thank you, boys. Guys, gentlemen, I should say.
We're men, okay?
Men, okay?
Short king over here, all right? Respecting the platform.
Every tight king.
So I feel like there's no blanket statement or words of wisdom that I can say. But if I were to say anything at all, it would be simple. It would be compassionate with yourself. Love yourself so much. So whatever you need to do, just be mindful with what you need in that time. And whatever that is, it's fine. It's just fine. It just is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah. The more you can be present, the more, it may seem to get maybe not a little easier, but just more manageable. When you can be present with those feelings, maybe they won't come up as full throttle next time. I don't know, or maybe they will. But just learn to accept whatever's coming through. That's all.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. M169 says, cherish the memories. Let yourself grieve and don't be afraid to laugh at the fun moments. You'll find it helps with the process. And we're going to get into some fun moments right after this. But Trey, the big man, what do you have for those who are lucky enough to have avoided this type of bullshit?
Definitely find all the fun moments, any fun moments you can think about. I would say with a person other than, like, depending on how close you was to that person, connect with another, like the second in line, get closer to them. Like, I remember the day she died, I called my best friend and he just let me sit in the car and cry. And that was important to me. And I would say the biggest thing, don't let any destructive habits you have overtake you.
Facts, sir.
Yeah.
Facts. Amazing advice.
Like,
I wish I had somebody to tell me that.
Yeah, like, I had quit my job and I was basically like doing like the little labor ready places, enough to make like $40-$50 a day to make sure I got some food and weed. And to a degree, I I basically put myself behind the eight ball and had to start life all over again in 2020. But just find you some good habits. Remember all type of fun moments. Um, just the little things, like a lot of little things. Whatever makes you happy, you do that. Whatever fun moments you get, you do it, and just try to enjoy your life now that that person is gone.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And
Shout out to the fallen.
I'm gonna bounce out real quick. I got dad duties, so
All right, brother.
I'll
Thank
holler
you.
at you in Discord.
Yeah,
Everybody
thank
be
you.
good, be loved, and love is love.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming up and sharing, brother. Very, very much appreciated. I will see you around. So, perfect timing. I figured, let's go to end on a high note, and go through some more of these pictures and just reminisce about some of the good times. Like, we have the next one that came up here was me and you with your Joe Dirt haircut in recovery. And yes, this is the exact same hoodie that I always wear with my Indian Jesus shirt. It still fits. But yeah, and then we got Akon. Hold on, let's do this. Oh, nope. Well, you can see Akon here. Can't even let us have a moment. He's got to do the bunny ears. So it's back in college. I wanted to. There we go. That's that. I mean, Buffalo Wild Wings. I remember there was. I think I don't know how much you actually know about this story. So there was a wait for it. Come on.
What is that?
Joe Dirt.
What was I thinking? Like, why would I ever cut my bangs like that?
Like, you were going through some shit, girl. It's all right.
Apparently.
Nick says, remember that they would want you to live on and be happy. So don't feel like you can't let it be a reason to live, love, and be happy. That's the best way to honor their memory. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What do you mean, Bollywood what? I don't have a Bollywood haircut. What the fuck does that mean? But yeah, so I don't know if you.
I think he was supporting me. He's like, well, if you're gonna dig at Kristen, I'm gonna dig at you.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
You got supporters in my audience. They're taking your side over mine. How dare you? But yeah, so this story was I was living in that same house, so it couldn't have been more than a year or so before he died. And so Akon was involved in moving certain things and not always legal things. And so I was never trying to be part of that side. I was like, yo, I'll pay the prices. Like, I just want, I just want my weed. And like, I don't want to be involved in deals and like, oh, if you drive me here, then you get 6 pounds for $7. Like, I don't want to be involved in any of that. And like I tried to sell weed for a week in college, and I got scared and I got in trouble, and I had to give the weed back. I was like, I can't do this. I'm a loser. So usually, and so usually Akon, or not usually, Akon would respect the fact that, you know, that I wasn't that guy. Like I'm down to get down, you know what I mean? But I'm not trying to be, you know, I'm not trying to cross that line. And so for the most part, he and you know, his cohorts, they would kind of conduct business around me, but not like in front of me. And where I was living at the time was a really good like meetup spot. It was in a college area. There was lots of traffic. There was lots of in and out. And so there was a big deal. There was this guy that we went to college with who saying that he wanted 3 pounds. So if you're not familiar, the 3 pounds is a lot of fucking weed. Like at the height of me smoking weed, when I was like just in college smoking all day, or actually not, after that, when I had the money to smoke as much as I wanted, I would probably buy a quarter of a pound to last me like a little less than a month. So this person wanted 3 pounds. And he's just like, yo, this is kind of a bigger deal. And, you know, I don't want to do this at my house. It's, you know, let's call him Gary from Ryder. Like, we know who he is. It's going to be cool, whatever. So he's like, can we meet at your house? It'll be easy for him. So I'm like, all right, just this one time, you know, I know who he is. We all know, it's all friends. We went to college together, all that stuff. So we're set up. And so the way that the house is set up is like the front door is here, and then my room was all the way at the back. There was, you know, the front door, and you go this way, and there's some rooms, and then, you know, into the living room, and then my room was in the back. I even had my own door out to the driveway. So that was, again, another reason why we wanted to use that. You could pull into the back of the driveway, come in the back door in my room, boom, 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 and then you're good. So that's why he wanted to do that. And I told him, yeah, we're not going to make a habit out of this. But so they roll up. What did I call him? Greg? Greg rolls up. And he's not by himself, which he said he was going to be. But, you know, again, it was just 2 people. And they both come in the back door in my room. They're talking. They're like, you know, counting money. You know, they got all they're making piles. They're counting everything out. And this is in the height of my addiction. So I'm zonked out. I'm just like, yeah, dude, you can like do whatever you want. I just keep it cool. Just keep it cool. That's my how I'm operating at this time. And so, you know, they come in, they're counting the money, and then I hear boom at the back or at the front door. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I just ignore it because I lived with a bunch of college kids, so I figure it's whatever. I hear another boom, and they come in, and my bedroom door is open, and so my bedroom door is here, my bed is here, the kitchen's here, so I could see straight out the door, and I see this dude walk in and just boom, has a gun right to my head, and I'm frozen. I'm despite the fact that I was on all the anxiety medication. I'm like, please don't hurt me.
Yeah, of course.
Akon, I definitely do not have street cred. No, I do not. Akon has street cred because what he did was, I don't remember the exact conversation. He's like, yeah, he's got nothing to do with this. Point that at me. So he tells the guy to, or no, he steps in front. So
yeah, that's what I remember.
The dude's,
that he went in
front, so I'm on my bed here. Dude walks in here. Akon's like over here, and he steps in front. He steps in front in between what we could only assume is a loaded gun and me. And so then dude has Akon on the ground, you know, like he's getting arrested on his knees. And the dude's behind him. He's got the gun to the back of his head. And again, I'm still frozen. Like, what do we do? What do we do? Akon, again, he's on his knees like this. And in a split second, he just goes, woo, and he tackles the guy into the wall, makes him drop the gun, and then all of them book it. I'm like, bro, you just saved my life. He's like, "Yo, that shit wasn't loaded," and he goes chasing after them.
Oh, I didn't
Ran
realize
out
that.
the fucking door to go find them. He's like, "Yo, that's mad money."
I didn't realize that part. Oh my God. Wow.
He ran after them barefoot. So no, I do not have street cred. Akon has street cred. That was the defining moment when I was like, oh, this is a ride or die. This is somebody who literally was prepared to die for me.
Yeah.
Nobody other than, my parents would do that. And he did. I didn't ask him to. I didn't say anything. Facts. That's a homie. That's who this guy was. And so he just he was such a badass. He was such a fun guy. He was such a nice guy. He was he covered the gamut. He covered the gamut. And I mean, when you see that, there's no going back. That is a total G move. And so, remembering moments like that is that's the way to be. So if you want to stick around while we go through some of these pictures, I think we could reminisce and end on a happy note.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah, this was Buffalo. That was Buffalo Wild Wings, not the pub. What is this from?
That was at Ben Applebaum's house.
Yes, this was a different New Year's. Okay, all right. And we got, is he even in? Oh, yeah, he was right there. This is the first time we went back to the pub wearing the jerseys. So everybody's got the same, 31, and it says Kondioti in the back. This right here is Akon's brother, who did say he would be joining us. I think it's about time to see that he's probably not going to, but, and this is the guy who wrote the email that we started off with. And man, good times. Look at that hair. So I was talking about Hurricane Sandy. We were all hanging out in Akon's bedroom, right? We're hanging out in Akon's bedroom, and then we're chilling, whatever. We're like, yo, I wonder what AC is like. We called up. All the casinos are closed because if you remember, like, Sandy did hell on Atlantic City, but as soon as they opened, we were like, let's book it. And we may or may not have been sober. Of course we were not. But shout out to Mickey Martin here. And this was just at the end of the night, just doing what we do. Just doing what we do. Oh man. Again with the who can guess which one is me? Which number is me? So this is from the Hawaii trip. This is all of us that went to Hawaii, except for Kristen and Akon. Yeah. Why was it? I forget. Why didn't you come with us?
I think I was doing something for school, or I don't know. I was somewhere. Somewhere. I don't know where. Wait, was I in Italy then? I don't know.
Oh, maybe. I think so. This was 2013. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But you were sorely missed. That was a great time. And this is a collage of the different tattoos that we had all gotten, most on the same day. This was his girlfriend at the time. And this was a note that he actually wrote to her. So this is actual handwriting that she's got on her ribs. This is Mickey, who has his name in Hebrew. Again, a practicing Jew. This is our friend, college friend Mina, who got the same AMK, Adam Kondioti, and of course me with the family is thicker than blood. Oh, the original, and yeah, this little bracelet thing here, that was another thing for Donate Life. This, oh man, good times.
Such good times.
Oh, there's us again at the pub. Where else will we be?
Yeah.
Oh man, good times. And like this is just what we did. We would just hang out. This is Ashley popped up before. I think she meant to just watch. But she popped up backstage.
Come through.
She came up, I pulled her up, and she wasn't there. So I think she just meant to watch. But either way, much appreciated.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I used to dress like. I had my lip ring, I had my half-inch gauges, had my short hair, my fitteds. Oh man. But and again, it's just the notion of these small moments. These small moments. It's nothing, fantastically huge. It's just small moments of consistently enjoying time together.
Yeah.
Megan said he was always a good sport with my cam wow obsession.
Wow.
Yes, Megan. The number of cam wow pictures I went through to make this slideshow
That's so
was
funny.
too much. It was too much. It was too much. But we love you anyway. We love you anyway. Oh man. So again, if you remember Matt's email where we started, we have, me as the vocalist here. We're playing for charity. This is Matt on drums. We had Mickey and Eric on guitars. And then our boy here rocking out with an inflatable guitar. And the problem with this show was you see all these cabs and amps and shit. They told us that they would have equipment. And like we had like amps and stuff, but nothing, that professional. And so they told us that they'd be able to, accommodate us. And like we could have done fine with our little amps. But obviously, if you have a more legit setup like this, then it's like, yeah, can we use your shit? And they said yes. And then we got there, and they were like, "Oh, we thought you meant like just the PA, so like a regular thing, like one microphone." Like you would use to make announcements like, we're going to be landing in 30 minutes. Like that kind of thing. Our entire sound, the vocals, the bass guitar, the drums, everything went through one thing. And it sounded like crap. But Akon was there nonetheless, making it a grand old time. I mean, he didn't know any other way. And I mean, we played terribly. Oh, there was the last time we this was when we hung out with Ben again. Akon's brother, bunch of us. There's Andrew said he was gonna be coming through as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, oh man. Good times. This is from the thumbnail.
New Brunswick.
Oh no, that's a different one. We have so many of these gang photos, like, yay, gang. And oh man, it's just like I don't hang out with people like that anymore. And I get it. I know we're older, but it's like I couldn't gather a group this big of people if I tried. And I can't think anything except that, he was exactly as I said, exactly as Matt said, the glue
Yeah,
to all of us. Oh, this is from the thumbnail. Yep. And I mean, wait. Oh well. Oh, wait. Oh. I mean, just look how happy we were. We were so happy. I just want to go back. Bond 6 says, I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I'll live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Shout out to that. Gang. All right, let's finish this up and see where we at. And of course, you guys know, that's a good picture of his, he's always in groups. He's always, it's hard to get like a picture of him like that.
Yeah.
He was never like an Instagram guy. It was like 1 week before all of this. I remember we went to IHOP just because, and I was like, yo, make a goddamn Instagram. And he did. And then he died.
Mm-hmm.
The happiness. This again was the guy that through college when, again, so I was talking about how, one of the biggest, I think the biggest mistake I ever made personally was to not room with him when we went to Ryder. I had this stupid idea of, we should meet new people. Like we'll hang out. And eventually we did, but if I could have, and I could go on for days about the weirdness of my freshman roommate. Like, biggest mistake I could have ever made. Whitney Houston? Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I got it at the end. I was like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. Take my dignity. Yeah, I got you. Shout out to Kyle BDDFL. That was when we were at we're down the shore. Back to the okay, so the day of, we had a bunch of people gathered around at my house, and in true fashion, we had to roll an Akon blunt, a token of honor to our fallen comrade. Akon, you were my brother in every sense of the word. I can't count how many people thought we were gay together, and that never bothered me one bit. You kept me grounded when I would bug out and kept my old soul young. I will take your energy with me wherever I go. You will live on in my heart forever. It crushes me. I forgot that we used to say this. It crushes me that I will never hear you say, let's smoji. And for that reason, we burn this in your name. Adam Mark Kondioti, rest in peace. Crazy.
So crazy.
Did you hit that one? Did you hit that one? I think you might have hit that one.
Nope, not there.
Oh yeah, no. Well, for your job, yeah, she didn't hit anything.
I didn't hit anything. No, I've never hit anything. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that what we're going with? Okay, fair enough. Oh, this is back in the day. This one looks old. Looks old.
Yeah, I just posted that too, actually.
Oh, this is when we went to the final Warp Tour that was in Jersey.
Aww.
The last one.
Oh my God.
Can you please say something about this night, because I don't remember anything. This is me with my amazing lights raver Glover hands and a mirror face to make my my light show
you were
look better.
gloving all night long.
But by the time I got there, I did not have any I don't remember anything that happened that night.
Yeah. It was a typical night. Like, I don't remember specific details, but I remember you were just gloving relentlessly, which was normal for you anyway. So.
Yep. Yeah. I'm that guy. Right. Yeah. Getting gangster with it. Hey. Yep. The old days. This was that same when me, Akon, and Kyle went to the shore. We were just hanging out, and again, just another nothing crazy. We just went down, walked along the boardwalk, got a couple beers, did a little bar hopping, and that was it.
No,
on our way.
Yeah.
So summer 2013 was some of the best days of my life with some of the best people in the world. Today, I celebrate your life, Adam, and I'm so grateful to have known you. This is everybody. This is her post. Everybody. I'm on Defoe, and then we go all the way back. I'm on Defoe said, now it makes sense why you use your hands so much when you get animated. I don't know what you are talking about, sir. All right? I don't be doing that at all. Not even a little bit. But what a beautiful picture. Beautiful picture and a beautiful man. Am I right? Yeah. Well, nobody showed up but you. Nobody showed out. Shout out to Trey who did come through, but I mean of our
and
Megan. Shout out to Megan in the chat. Cheers to Megan. I thought, I had a feeling that, we would have a lot of dropouts and that we wouldn't, have too much, but I really appreciate you being here and, just sharing your thoughts and your experiences. And of course it's great to talk to you. I miss you.
I miss you too. Text me, call me. Yeah,
we definitely have to. So before we dip out, is there anything that you would like to just final words for the people, if there is anything? The floor is yours.
People, thanks y'all for watching, and supporting Adam and supporting us on this day. it is tough, but it's nice to reminisce and just share and laugh. And also, I got teary-eyed a few times, so I appreciate all y'all holding space for us. And yeah, I mean, most importantly, Adam, we love you. We miss
Absolutely.
you. And
Absolutely.
you're the best friend ever. Even though you're not physically here anymore, you're still the best friend. So
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Well, thank you so much for hanging out and being part of this. I really appreciate it. This is something that, you know, I hope there's going to be more people who knew him that watch this. I
yeah.
kind of feel like there's a lot of people who don't necessarily like me who still want to see what anything said about Akon, and that's fine. I got you guys out there. I don't need that. I don't need them. I don't need them at all. I don't care. No, but it's it was really nice to be able to do this, and you know, it obviously it would have been really difficult for us to try to coordinate something, and maybe we could have done something, and maybe we could have done that, but I feel like at some of these kinds of events that we've done before, there's people who are in a different, let's just say, in a different headspace, and I feel like we were really on the same page. So thank you so much.
Thank
I'm gonna pull you
so
down,
much.
but if you want to hang out I'm just gonna close out the show. If you want to hang out, we can chat for a minute. If not, that is totally cool. Either way, I want to thank you so much. Can we get a Kristen is beautiful in the chat, please? Thank you so much. I'll talk to you in a minute. All right. So, guys, I know that this was very, very, very different than what we usually do, but I appreciate those of you who were here. I appreciate those of you who were willing to take this journey. And if somebody, you know, wasn't, that's totally fine. I know that you know, this is not our typical show, but it was very important to me. And so the fact that you guys were here, the fact that you think that Kristen is beautiful, yes. She's pretty. Kristen is beautiful. She is indeed a lovely lady. Of course. Yes, she is one of my oldest and best friends. We all go through shit, man. It's easy to come on here and be like, hey, welcome and let's party and and it's not always like that. And so I, as much as I wanted to do something special for him, I also kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of a peek behind the curtain as to who I am and what matters to me and how I think about these things. Especially, you know, we talk so much about religion, we talk so much about culture, we talk so much about values, and you know, hopefully this did what I wanted to do. I don't know, guys. I'm just out here just talking. On 6 of these death streams, the realest indeed they are. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and of course, the sponsor of the stream, Unwanted Foe. Thank you so much. Of course, we are headed right over to the after party. I'm gonna chill and just catch up with Kristen. I did it again. Catch up with Kristen a little bit, but I will see you guys over there. Thank you so much. I know you guys could be doing anything else in the world, but the fact that you are here means everything to me. So once again, I have been your host, Lech, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, I am out of here. Peace.